That reminds me. But anyway, I'll share. Let me see if I can share my screen. I'm also new to all this stuff with desktop. Okay. Everybody seeing my screen? If not, it's fine. We can just follow on the, if you can't see my screen on there, just you can click over to the agenda because everybody should be able to hear me. Everybody had a good day so far?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Sandra, you got the minutes version of this too?
Well, I was trying to see. I thought I had it up. Hold on here. Hold on just a second. Okay. All right. I'm going to pull it up on my other computer because I can't seem to get back to it. I don't know why. I guess I'm computer illiterate.
No, that's fine.
All right. I'll tell you what. I'll just take notes and then I'll add it in. How's that?
Okay. Either way is fine, Sandra.
Okay.
All right, guys. So we got, you'll see there pretty good bit of stuff to cover, and some of it was being covered with all departments, but then I just sat on what was it, about 16 hours of Zooms the past 3 days with the state for our winter CTAE directors conference thing. So I did add some stuff this morning down towards the bottom that's kind of coming up and important stuff for our department. So but first, a lot of this stuff is things that we met all the department heads and created this, and it's stuff that really CT and me, we just kind of need to know if anybody's needing stuff. So with just general supplies and materials, is anybody like in immediate need of certain things? Even like CT said, he went 3 years without a stapler just because he never ordered one. But we don't want someone sitting and not being able to teach class because they don't have the basic supplies they need. Now I know ours is a little different and we do things a little different than other departments. But just overall, and I'll just turn that over to you guys, just immediate needs. Anybody?
Okay. If nobody has anything, I am going to, if my CNAs take the CNA test this year, they are going to need a personal protection gown, and I have been unable to order those this year. So far, they're still not available, and we gave all mine to the hospital last year. So I don't know if maybe the hospital could give us 3 or 4, but I've checked every week and we have not, they're still unavailable.
Okay. Add that on here, Sandra. If you'll also shoot me an email with exactly what you need on that.
Okay.
And we'll see about ordering them again. And if we can't order, I can talk to the hospital and possibly they can, are those are reusable, right? Like we could wash them and give them.
No, they're actually paper.
Okay, so they're disposables.
Yeah, they're disposable, and I have to have new ones for the test. They won't let us use ones that we've used before. So.
Okay. Well, maybe we can contact Julia and see if they can spare. We'll just tell them the situation we're in and that we gave them all of ours back in last spring and we haven't been able to reorder, you know, maybe they can spare a few for us.
Okay.
On those lines though, as far as basic supplies, I know as we move through the rest of the semester, people will have stuff come up and need things in their classrooms. Just please, we've done good with the budget so far this year and really good. And so just continue that same thing. We'll talk about next year's budget a little bit in just a few minutes, but this year's budget, I know the state came out and said they were amending it and adding money back, but most of that was being added back to the local, but it didn't, in other words, they didn't add to our Perkins funding or anything like that. So just, but we do have some money left. And so if you, as you have things come up, just do as you've been doing, and we'll keep ordering things that we need. Wish lists. Now this is getting into a little bit over and beyond basic needs that we need right now. Does anybody have any big ticket? We're actually starting to plan for the budget for next year, district wide.
Kill Howard.
And so does anybody have any like big ticket items, wish list type items that we need to look at for like next school year?
Hey, Josh, I'm looking into any kind of big grant where I can go in and get like 26 Mac computers with the software. I'm researching that to see if there's a way that I can file for a grant or something with the computer science out there, because that's a hot ticket item right now. Because these Macs are a little bit old, and if we go to build, they're going to want to go to Windows based, and I'd rather stay Mac based if I can.
Okay. Well, yeah, keep me in the loop on that, Mark, if you find any and you need my assistance with that. But yeah, I know computer science nationwide is a hot ticket item right now. So you possibly can find a grant. Along those lines now, as we go the next couple years and do these additions and modifications to different rooms and labs and things, I'm going to be applying for grant money. And so that computer science lab could quite possibly be on that list, Mark. But at the same time, you can never have enough equipment grant money. So if you can get that grant currently, we could use, you know, if we get grant money in the future, use it on different items, you know. So again, you just never have enough equipment money. But I will be putting in some grants for, especially for our vocational programs in May, but computer science could be on that list too, Mark. I just got to talk to John and Putter and them and see if that lab renovation is on that current list of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if I find anything, I'll let you know. But I've started to research on it because I think there's some out there. I mean, I looked at CSTA in Indiana, and another state just picked up like 10.5 million.
Okay, yeah, if you can get that or anything along those lines, we'll renovate the lab and you'll have like more than you need.
Yeah.
10.5 million?
10.5 million for the two states.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
So what we could do is if we were able to do something like that, then we could include you know, Howard's room on into the incubator room too.
Yeah, yeah. Does anybody else have wish list items, huge needs?
If you're gonna move the greenhouse, or if the greenhouse gets moved, a head house would be awesome.
A head house? What
It's
is it?
just a storage building, because right now I'm keeping the chemicals like the fertilizer. I don't use like pesticide, but the horticultural oil, that kind of stuff, in plastic containers, and I just kind of have to find a corner of the greenhouse and shove them there.
Yeah.
There's not like any kind of storage in that greenhouse. So a head house would be definitely a wish list item, because it's okay without it. Like I said, I just put it in plastic containers and stack them somewhere. But
Right.
some of those items are temperature sensitive, so having them in a head house would be awesome.
What size of storage building would you be?
The size of those little buildings that Catnac's been building, like those are pretty great. That would be a nice size.
Okay. Sandra, make note of that real quick, because I know we need some storage out there for that type of stuff, Halen. We talked about it a little bit, so that's something I can continue working on too. Any other big wish list items, guys?
I'd like to get maybe a couple 3D printers if that's possible. I know Coach Hodges has a couple down there in the STEM lab, but that kind of makes us have to walk on down there. Maybe I could get a couple of those up in our lab. We can kind of get into some of that type of programming as well.
Okay.
I'd like to get Josh a new sweatshirt.
I got to turn my
Make sure and
camera
write that down.
Yeah, Josh needs a new sweatshirt.
Okay.
Anything else, guys? And then we can transition right down into the next thing, the technology needs. If anybody has any, and Mark, I know yours fits under both things really. But anybody else, and when I say technology needs, as far as immediate, like that'll help you currently get through the rest of this year with all the technology we're using, anything, or is everybody kind of rolling pretty smooth with technology? All right. So the next thing is professional development needs. You know, there's been a lot of, and I'm sure you guys have either sought out or probably been a part of different types of professional development this year. And it's looked way different all year. But one thing just to stress is don't think of like professional development as huge, like 3-hour, half day or full day ordeals, or sitting 16 hours on a Zoom like I did the past 3 days. It doesn't always have to look like that. It can be short videos just showing you how to, you know, do a screencast or something. Basically, I guess what we want to know is how can we help you get better in whatever area that you need help in. And an example that CT used the other day on our meeting was the elementary school. They did just that. They did a big survey and got teacher, you know, list of teacher needs, and then they either created or found just short like videos to show people how to do it. Because a lot of times we just need to be shown how to use something or to do something, and then you can jump right in and start doing it. Kind of like Robbie, what we were talking about the other day. If somebody would have just shown you how to use that Promethean board, you might could have used it all these years, you know. So any immediate needs for professional development, like anything anybody's currently struggling with, and that could be technology related or anything else. Anything? You can always, if you think about some things later on, you can always email me and say, hey, I should have put this on there. But anyway, I don't want you guys struggling to, you know, get through, or struggling in any areas, even if it's like classroom management or anything along those lines, communicating with parents, whatever it might be. I'd like to support you and help you with anything you need help with. Long-term professional development, I'll say on this, I'll just go ahead and say it, and we're going to talk about the CCA in a little bit, but some long-term PD that we're all going to probably participate in department-wide and probably a lot school-wide is the cross-curricular focus, and that stuff is probably going to become or come back into the mix next year. I know we got away from it this year, but it'll be more focused and really matching. You know, in the past when we did those cross-curricular things, and you did like one lesson each semester with somebody, it was just kind of a free-for-all and everybody just picked who they wanted to work with. But we really want to start identifying what academics really match with our programs, and really pairing some of the things, and also pairing things more long-term. So anyway, that's to come over the next couple of years. We'll really be talking a lot about that. Any other long-term though, professional development, anybody? Josh, I know you talked to me yesterday or the other day about master's programs and things like that. So if anybody's thinking about, you know, those types of things, and you want to talk to me, just, yeah, come talk to me. If you're thinking about different programs as far as a master's level stuff goes, or whatnot. All right. Next two things. Is anybody doing anything? And this, I think CT's just wanting to send some stuff out on social media for Black History Month, or for CTAE month. Does anybody even know it's CTAE month? Somebody laughed. Was that you, Sandra?
Yes.
February is always CTAE month, but if you don't get pounded with state emails, you might not even know that. But anyway, so if you do have anything going on, I guess what I'll say under those two items, Sandra, is if you have anything going on, or if you're just doing something cool in your classroom, take some pictures and just send them to me with a little blurb, and we can say for CTAE month, because it'd be cool to send some stuff out social media wise, just saying it's CTAE month, and sending some cool shots of your kids doing some cool stuff in your classrooms.
Hey, Josh,
Yes.
it's National FFA Week, the week after we get back from state show.
Okay.
So we will do something for National FFA Week. Normally we do that, the dress up days and the candy around the school and all that stuff. Obviously we won't do that, but we'll do something. So we'll probably do some social media stuff for a local show and maybe trying to highlight just some things in our program. So we'll have that going on.
Okay, cool.
When was that, Haley? When did you say, Haley?
Not next week, but the week after. So the 22nd, the week of the 22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops. No, I can't figure out how to get off there. So the mask mandate survey, y'all probably already saw all that and already did it. But if you haven't, Paula emailed out a survey, and they're just wanting to get some anonymous feedback from everybody on everybody's opinion. Should they lighten up on the mask mandate for kids? I don't think they're going to tell employees that they don't have to wear masks anymore or anything like that. But obviously, since they put in that mask mandate for students after Christmas break, a lot more kids went online and all that. And so I guess they're just trying to gauge where everybody's personal opinions are on that. And I'm sure that varies very widely across the board. So anyway, just please fill that out if you haven't done so already. Because I think they're wanting to present those findings to the board on Tuesday night at the next board meeting, so that they can have a discussion about that and see if they want to do anything related to the mask mandate. One thing on the virtual attendance, please just put, if you have in-person or virtual kids that are not doing anything. And why I'm saying that is, I know right now you might have kids floating in and out because with this mask mandate, it seems like we have kids, and we even have kids showing up for like their elective courses and then not going to their academics, or vice versa. It's pretty crazy, and it's put us in a position where it's hard to do anything about it, to be honest, right now. And I think that's why they're looking at things. But if you have kids that are either in person or virtual not participating, do as much as you can, but at the same time I would make sure they're on that attendance sheet and those types of things. But please, and this is one thing to stress, just remember, you guys are, and I know y'all do a great job of this, you're the first line of communication. So just be reaching out to the students and all that stuff. And I know we've been doing it all year, so everybody's in the same boat on that. And it's just, it gets hard. But do also, let me add this on that note. So like we did last year when we ran the failure report after about midway through the semester and started bringing kids back, we're already doing that. And so we've started calling, there's like, I forget the exact number, but it was like 500 Fs right now. That's not necessarily 500 kids fell in a class, but it is some kids are failing 3 or 4 classes. And if they're failing 3 or 4 classes, we've been calling them the last few days to come back to school. So you might start seeing some of those kids that have been struggling back in your classes. And then that in-house success center, so to speak, study skills class will be cranking up so that some of those kids can get caught up. And so you might see some of those kids disappearing from your rosters, just FYI, if that happens over the next couple of weeks. That's why. But if you have any questions on if a kid disappears off your roster and you need to know why, just shoot me an email and I can quickly look them up for you and let you know if that's the case or what happened. Next thing was the L4GA grant. The first round of orders has taken place. So if you ordered, or if you sent me some stuff on that first round, that should have been ordered. Sandra, I'm not sure. I know I sent you that last week. I'm not sure if those items were ordered yet, but they did say if something wasn't approved, for whatever reason, it probably just needed to be framed in a different way. And I guess they'll communicate that with us. That's really all the information they gave us right now. But I know that was the only items that they sent back with questions about, was some couple things Sandra sent. So I know several people sent me some things. So the rest of it should have been ordered, I'm assuming. So has anybody received any of that stuff yet? No? Okay. Well, it should be coming if you did send me stuff. I can't remember who all sent stuff, but it should be coming. All right. So that was that was basically the stuff that school-wide that we were covering. And then the rest of this stuff is kind of strictly for us. So the winter conference that I was talking about, that's our mid-year. We have it every year, and they talk about any budget type stuff. We're about to get into the budget stuff for next year, like I said. And so all the grant writing and all that stuff and program of work, all that kind of business is quickly approaching us. So just wanted to talk a little bit with everybody about this stuff. The state budget, number one, from what everybody's saying, continues to look good for next year. So hopefully our funding will kind of go back to the way it always was. And as far as me being able to provide each program with their specific budget amounts and things like that. So I'm really hoping that continues to move in the right direction. Those $1,000 payments, they said that's that direct payment for teachers that everybody was excited about being in the governor's proposed budget. They said the State Board of Education is going to be voting on that in March. And so we should know something within the next few weeks as far as that's concerned. But I know Eric Love does a good job of blasting out all the legislature news. So our legislative news. So just follow, because I'm sure it'll be in there as all that takes place. But they did say whenever those $1,000, for this is very important, when those $1,000 payments are, however they come, they'll probably be direct deposited into your checking account if that's how you receive your paycheck. But they are asking that you donate at least 75% of that to your CTAE director. So I'll give, and I'll just take that in cash. That way I don't have to give out my bank account information. Sorry. It's Friday, guys. I'm about cooked after the last 3 days of Zooms. All right. So
make sure and write that in there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that in there. Okay.
All right.
He said 75 cents, Sandra. 75
Okay,
cents
yes.
goes to him.
Percent.
Yes, I'll make sure I put that in there.
Yeah. I'll send out exact calculations as it comes out. So, all right. So next thing, program of work. I know a couple of you guys are on program of work, and then a couple of the folks that couldn't jump on today are. So I'm recording this and I'll send it to them. But program of work, that will be, or they're going to come out in March, the whole end of the year thing where we complete our program of work. And so this is, and you guys know this, it's everybody that's on extended day for doing the CTSOs. But for those that are new on those this year, I'll get with you and help you through that process. But those will be due, I believe they said, like late March. So they usually give us a couple weeks to get those finished, but I'll be in communication as soon as they're opened up on CTERN and let you know. Haley, I know yours is different, but the Ag Ed folks did say that you guys would just do your program of work through your local administration again this year because of COVID. They might have already communicated that with y'all, but just FYI on that. Another thing, so I'm not sure if anybody, I'm sure everybody's, again, a little bit different on this, but professional development workshops, if anybody's interested in doing any, or you need to do any for whatever reason through the CTAE resource network, they announced that they are going to continue virtually doing all professional development virtually through May 28th. One thing with that, guys, if you've never, like, if you have some specific needs, you ought to get on there and search like specifically under your program. If you don't know how to do that, I can show you, but it lists like all kinds of workshops and different things related to specifically to different programs. But one thing that has been nice through COVID is the virtual option, and it's, you don't have to like travel to South Georgia like I always have to do every year and attend these conferences. You can just log right on and attend them. So, and actually they said the professional development numbers as far as people attending these things has gone up significantly. So I almost predict that they'll continue that because it just makes things so much easier. Again, like they just told us our thing next year that I just sat on the Zoom for, I'm going to have to go to Jekyll Island, which that's great. Like, let's drive 10 hours to sit in a room and listen for 2 days. Anyway, so maybe there'll be a virtual option on that, but look at that stuff seriously. On a serious note, I would suggest everybody getting on that website and just looking at different things, and there might be some stuff you want to register for and attend. But it also saves us money to do virtual, obviously, because we're not paying for travel and hotels and things like that. So, but last thing on that, they are in June going to start offering some, and this is important for you too, Sandra, some face-to-face workshops if they are necessary. Like they specifically mentioned for CNA folks, Sandra, like CPR training, you can't do that on virtual. So things like that, and some of you guys might have different things like that it's impossible to offer virtually training wise. So just be on the lookout for that, because in June, if you have anything like that, they're going to start offering some in-person things. So in-person when it has to be, but virtual workshops, and I think they're going to continue that virtual option probably, I would say, through next school year, I would think, just because unless things drastically change, but at least probably through the fall, you know. Any questions on that stuff, those updates, guys? Okay, so the last thing I wanted to just update everybody on the College and Career Academy stuff. I know y'all been hearing bits and pieces of that pretty much for like a year and a half over that now. But we are really moving forward with a lot of the stuff now. We have an official governing board that's been meeting for about 3 months now. We're really moving on certain things, definitely the facility. And as we've said, and y'all know, our Career Academy won't be, or it'll be more of a campus feel, like I've told y'all before, where it'll encompass our current C wing, which was just renovated, and most of the classrooms and labs are in really good shape. We might touch a few of those classrooms and labs as we go, but the majority of the bulk of the money that we got through that grant will be spent building a new facility out on that flat pad where the rock is and all that, straight across from the vocational building, and then renovating the current vocational building. We've hired architects and a construction management firm. We met with them on Tuesday, just a preliminary meeting. We walked that vacant lot out there, and then we walked through the vocational building, just kind of giving them broad general ideas of what we're thinking. That architect firm is supposed to be sketching out some preliminary plans for all that, and they're going to be coming back, and they said within a few weeks with those preliminary plans, and we're going to be calling in those specific teachers to look at those plans and talk about labs and just the layouts of the labs and different things. So just have that on your radar, especially you guys out in the vocational area. Because that's definitely happening. You guys might have heard Haley mention the greenhouse before we got started here. That's already rolling too. They're going to move that greenhouse from where it currently sits out to the ag center because it makes more sense really for the ag program to be out there. Number one. Number two, that's going to create a pad up at the vocational building where we can use for some storage and things that is highly needed up there. So really the metal storage and that kind of thing. So so the facility plans, let me get back to that. we're planning to start that new building pretty much September 1. So the 1st of September, we're hoping that new facility building is started. So next school year, you guys in the vocational lab will look a little bit different on the front side of your building, which I don't think will matter much at all because nobody uses that front side of the building. But there'll probably be, I'm sure, fencing and stuff like that, keeping kids out and everybody out of that construction zone area. So just FYI on that. Might be a little noisy at times, but it'll be all right. But yeah, so that new facility, the plans to start September 1. We're hoping it's complete by next spring, say mid to late spring, April-ish maybe, hopefully. And then we will start, I'm thinking the plan will be to move everything out of the current vocational building to be warehoused in that new facility throughout that next summer, so summer of 22, so that renovation can take place late spring and through the summer, and then move everything back into its spot and be rolling fall of next year. So a year from this fall, I'm hoping all that construction is complete, and that's the timeline, the current timeline, and everybody will be in their new classrooms and labs and rolling. A little bit on the regional side. I know everybody's probably heard us talk about that this is going to be a regional career academy, or you might have heard that in certain things. So let me address that because it's going to impact you guys, and it could impact some of you like in August. Pretty much throughout the grant writing process for this college and career academy, we really realized the need for the thing to be regional. And when I say that, I'm talking about Union County, Towns County, Cherokee County, North Carolina. We approached Hayesville, Clay County. They're not on board yet. We also approached Fannin County. They're not on board yet, but those other districts are on board. And we are going to be moving forward with them. Now, and what I mean by that is we're offering the opportunity for their students to participate in our CTAE programs. Now, don't let that like blow your head because we don't really think that's going to be a huge amount of numbers as far as number of students, especially like year one. We're thinking maybe a handful, and not just us thinking that, the other superintendents are thinking the same thing. It'll be very specific and very like pointed at certain students that really could benefit from some of our programs. The reason is Towns County, for instance, they have a business program, they have a healthcare program, they have an ag program, and if I'm not mistaken, that's about it. Cherokee County, they have different programs, but they do not have a lot of the programs we have. They don't have a nursing program, for instance. They don't have manufacturing, welding, construction, automotive, agriculture, computer science. I mean, they really don't have a lot. And so the local industry are the ones that drove these decisions. And they're like, hey, you know, like, because we have a lot of our industry that hire regionally. All of our manufacturers hire people from the entire region. Blue Ridge Mountain EMC hires people from the entire region. The hospital, you just keep, I mean, you go through all the industries and everybody's hiring, not just in Union County, but people from throughout the region. And every single one of them is looking at a crisis in the next 5 to 10 years of an aging workforce, and everybody's going to be retiring, and they're not going to have people to fill their workforce needs. So that's the idea behind the regional thing. And that might expand as we go, but we are, John has told those superintendents we are offering opportunities there to begin in August for students that are interested in Towns County and Cherokee County. And MEC is also involved, but I don't know how that's going to work yet, but it could be involved. We already offer our healthcare courses to MEC, just FYI, for those that didn't know that. And Sandra teaches those courses a couple nights a week. So, but looking ahead, guys, I just want y'all to be aware of all these things that are going to be taking place, number one. But also begin thinking about different things, because we're really about to start expanding on some of our programs and some of the things we do. When I said that about the cross curricular stuff, that is something that's probably going to be embedded more and more into our programs. We are looking very closely at the current STEM program and the way they blend academics and CTAE coursework through engineering and through healthcare. But we're looking at making that more kind of a broad overall throughout our department. And one way and one reason that really makes sense, let me just kind of, and I know I've talked a lot, guys, but listen to this part, because this is important, because this is kind of the vision of where we're going. So several of you guys are pretty much all of our programs. When we get a freshman coming in and they start your intro course, a lot of times they're completely done. And I know I've talked to a bunch of you guys throughout this school year. They're completely done with your pathway by the time they're done their sophomore year, but they want to continue. They love, if they love your program, they want to continue in your program. And it's like, where do we put them? And I know, Haley, we talked about this just the other day, and that is a problem. So, and on top of that, we've added multiple pathways to a lot of your programs. Mark, we added, cybersecurity this year. Haley, you've got 2 pathways. Sandra, we've got 2 pathways in healthcare. And so that's one way of offering students the ability to stay in programs. But with the new dual enrollment laws or whatnot, students are not allowed to start dual enrollment, whether it's in a CTAE field or academic field, until their junior year now. So the idea is, and what STEM's been doing for years now, is accelerating kids through their academics, their high school level academics that they have to have, like your geometry, like your science, some of your sciences, biology, human anatomy, all those things, blending those. And we're already doing it with human anatomy and essentials of healthcare. And the STEM kids are doing it with biology and healthcare and several different things, geometry and engineering. So really, we're looking at expanding that throughout our department. Now, this is not something, and I don't want anybody's heart start racing, because it's not something we're going to jump like head first and say we're blowing this out and doing it all in August 1st this year. But we are going to start working towards that over the next few years. So I really want y'all to start just wrapping your heads around what, in your opinion, and we'll have a whole lot of conversations about this with, like, between now and this time next year for sure. But just wrapping your heads around, like, what academics, if a kid is graduating high school, going into a field in the area that you teach, what are the critical academic pieces to that field? So, and every one of you are going to have different. So if we were going to tie any academic coursework to, or blend it with your curriculum, what would that coursework be? And I know we could probably go down and everybody, I could probably tell every one of you guys, but y'all have more specific ideas on what it is that those kids would need. Another thing that we'll do, so if we accelerate kids, they're academically through, and then they finish a pathway by the end of their sophomore years, that's going to open up more opportunities for a lot of our students to do dual enrollment. Most of you guys would be qualified to teach North Georgia technical level courses. It's not that difficult to get that certification stuff done. So instead of, for instance, in Derek's welding class, he has kids finish their 10th grade year, and then we build in just old course numbers that still work for funding from the state. And he has welding 1 is his 3rd level class. Well, we have a welding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. But why not get kids a certification or something instead of just building in extra courses? I know just building in extra courses is great. They're still getting hands-on experience, but why not get them some types of certifications, or get them, if they want to go into any of those career fields, getting them going dual enrollment wise through the technical school or any of our other UNG or whatever. getting them going and having that focus before they graduate. Also bringing in the work-based learning piece, getting them in internships in the different areas. So that's kind of the idea behind it all, and kind of where we're going. But again, it's going to be a couple, 2-3 years until we're all kind of fully up and running that way. We are going to lean heavily on Ms. Frizzell because she developed the whole thing through STEM, and just to help us really looking at how they did that initially and setting up some of the stuff. But let me just end with this. I didn't say all this to stress anybody out, and we're not putting anything else on your plates like right in this second, or like saying we're going to start it and we're throwing you all in deep end come August or anything like that. I just want you to start thinking about these things, because you are going to start hearing way more about them, and we're going to start bringing you guys in and really starting to look at a lot of these things in the near future. I just wanted to kind of give you an update on all that, because I know you probably hear bits and pieces from me and from other people at times, but I just wanted to, again, just give you guys an overall update. Any questions on that stuff, facilities wise, or what we're looking at curriculum wise?
No, not really, Josh, but I do like the your thinking on the other part, because I think as we look at virtual and everything that's been happening over this past year, from last year to this year, I think that's I think providing the kids where they're at. I think that for us to be competitive and keep the kids where we can take care of them the best, I think is a good thing.
Another thing I forgot to mention there too, one thing we're looking at for real starting as well is teaching the kids the business aspects within all the different pathways. So regardless of whatever pathway they're in, learning the basic business knowledge behind that. And so how we're going to do that has not been finalized, but I think that's important, whether a student's in agriculture or automotive, to know the basic business behind being successful in those areas. Knowing for automotive, for instance, what does customer service look like, keeping books, inventory, those types of things. So I think that'll be a good thing as well, but we are looking at that too, just to give the kids some general, and when I say business, I mean, we're not going to teaching them a business degree or anything, but just general business sense, so that when they graduate and they go to work for somebody, or they graduate from us or graduate from college and go to work from somebody, they at least have a little bit of general business knowledge no matter where they're at. So any other questions, comments on any of that stuff? Well, again, like I said, over the next several months, but really pretty soon, we will be having some conversations with some of you guys. We're looking at piloting some things in construction next year. Charlie's not on here, so I can say that. Nobody tell him yet, but
he's watching. He's watching. He's on.
Oh, is he watching? I can't see him. Dang, I just let it out. Charlie, sorry, brother. No, but we are, and I've actually talked to Charlie a little bit about it, but we're looking at maybe trying some things with his program next year, just seeing what teaching like geometry through that program would look like. And because until we try it, we don't know what's going to work, what's not going to work, and things like that. But anything else, guys? Well, Josh, if you would just send us a video and a little bit of you burning that shirt, and we'll be good. Well, all right, guys, that's it for me. If you have anything else, just give me a call or whatnot. Sorry, this was a little bit longer of a meeting, but I wanted to have it in person because I really want to start, and I might come find you guys. Just last thing here during your planning over the next couple of weeks, to really start getting your ideas related to that college and career academy stuff, because that's kind of the direction we're moving, and it's going to be pretty awesome, I think, and really individualizing some things for kids and putting them on the right path before they graduate. So But you guys have a good weekend and stay safe. Try to stay dry. I think it's going to rain all weekend.
Hey, good luck to the FFA group down in Perry.
Yes, absolutely. Y'all leave Wednesday, Haley?
We do. We leave Wednesday.
Yes. Good luck.
Okay. Thank y'all.
You got a cow that's going to be up there in the top of the rankings. Should be, huh?
Yes. Yeah. I hope that she should make at least final drive for top 5. She may not place top 5, but I'm hoping she'll at least make final drive for top 5.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Maybe she'll win it all.
I know. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
If you win it all, no, not this one. In October, if you win it all, you get a trailer to parade around for a year. I think this year you just get a big check, which I mean is
A
good.
bit, hey, big checks, nice. It's like $5,000 though, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Josh,
that's awesome.
Josh gets 75 cents.
Percent. It's percent.
75 cents per person. So how much would that be?
Percent.
5 cents.
I'll follow this up with an email so everybody's clear on that it's percent.
We'll bring you 75 cents on Monday, okay?
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, y'all have a great weekend and get some rest and enjoy the long weekend. We'll see you guys Tuesday. If you need anything, though, holler, okay?
Okay. Thanks,
All right.
Josh.
Thanks.
Yep. See you guys.